I don't think in those terms, and I think it's dangerous to think in those terms. Every person is an individual who represents only himself. That's it. You only represent yourself. You don't represent everyone who looks like you or speaks the same language.
Yeah, but hold on, Tucker. Hold on, man. You know what? That's
not true, because if you're an old white man, you're going to represent what most other old white men think.
Right.
Whether you recognize it or not.
That's like that's what every community college teaches now, but it doesn't mean it's true.
It is true.
But it is true.
It is true.
It's not true. I don't speak for all 40-year-old white men who grew up in California.
You're right. You don't.
So
but regardless, you probably
that are very different from the majority of conclusions, like crazed, racialist dicks.
Yeah.
I'm only saying what matters is the individual, not the group.
It's a great thing to say, and it's a great way to think. Unfortunately, America, for the most part, does not think like that.
You wind up with Rwanda.
You wind up in packs in this life. You have packs.
Yeah, but tell me this, though. How is a justice that's sitting on the Supreme Court that's a 75, 80-year-old guy going to understand when a case comes in front of him that has to do with intellectual property on an iPhone? How is that guy going to even comprehend what the case is even about?
Good point.
Well, you don't have to understand how an iPhone works to understand intellectual property law.
Yeah, I think you absolutely do.
Okay, but the idea that
you have to stay current with the times.
A certain color to sympathize with another person's certain color. Look, that whole conversation is insane. The point of America is everybody is treated equally under the law. Period.
Well,
and by the way, we also don't. Are we now recognizing that there are inherent racial differences between groups? That certain groups are smarter, that means certain groups are dumber, by the way.
No, but you're saying that we can't compare ourselves to, and that everybody's equal, but yet I can't say what it's like to be a black person. I can't imagine what your average black person goes through on a daily basis and the racist comments that they get called and things like. I can't walk in their shoes.
What world do you live in, man?
It's still out there, Tuck, believe it or not.
It's designed to give preference to people if they're black or Hispanic. I mean, the idea that being black or Hispanic in this country today is an unremitting nightmare, that it's only bad. I mean, like, the world is so much more complicated than that. By the way,
the legal system,
people under 30 increasingly aren't, at least the evidence suggests this, thinking solely in terms of white and black.
I agree with you, but there's a lot of people that are in this country over the age of 30.
And the people that have the power are the ones that are over 50. And if you want to talk about the worst place where racism exists is the legal system. The way the marijuana laws, the way the marijuana laws are applied, the way the cocaine laws are applied, the way the law is applied in a criminal way.
First of all, that's all.
That's not. I can give you the facts.
And no offense, Tuck, but it doesn't hurt you because
crime.
You're not into it.
That's a really complicated conversation about.
You're a rich white guy.
That's about crime. Nobody wants to tell the whole truth about that. That's a really complicated. That's a really complicated question, and the only part of that story is told, and so whatever, as I'm sure you know. But look, this is all a distraction from the main point, which is your race and gender. Those are not relevant criteria for sitting on the Supreme Court. Period.
No, they're not. They're not relevant criteria, but it is the way, it's your prism. It's the way that you view the world. Now,
what does that mean? So what does that mean? So we get a version of Hispanic justice now? No, look, isn't justice supposed to be totally colorblind? I mean, aren't we sort of aiming toward a society where that stuff doesn't matter?
In the perfect world,
right.
Can't you see why you wind up with Rwanda pretty quickly?
No,
it's just a version of Hutu justice. This is just a version of Tutsi justice. I mean, no. We want to live in a society where that stuff doesn't play a role.
If we applied all laws equally, to everyone, like you said we do, which we don't, if we did, then gay people would be allowed to be married.
True. Tucker, touche, Trump. We got you on that one, Tuck.
The 14th Amendment.
I'm looking at porn, by the way. I can care less what you guys are talking about.
And we're losing.
I don't even understand the reasoning. I mean, I'm not arguing that our justice system is perfect.
Oh, it's far from it.
I'm just saying that the goal of it is to be colorblind. That's the
goal. But you tell me any time. I mean, that doesn't really happen.
And have you ever been in court, charged with a crime, and gone through the justice system? And when you do, and it worked for Bubba and myself, it worked for us. But I saw a bunch of people in there that were dark skinned that it did not work for.
Spare me. Oh, spare me.
Okay.
Come on. I mean,
Tucker hates blacks.
each case is so different and complicated. How could you know that?
Tucker hates
unless
blacks.
you did, like,
Ned, say it.
a longitudinal study on
Tucker
each one of those
Carlson
cases. That's an
hates black
unsupportable
people.
generalization. I mean, clearly there is racism in this world, and it cuts both ways. There's racism that hurts white people, and there's racism that hurts black people. Racism is discriminating on the basis of race.
Ned's got
the government does every day.
Breaking news.
Hold on, Ned's got breaking news.
Breaking news, Tucker Carlson hates black people.
Hates black people?
Yeah.
I mean, this is so insane. Oh God!
But okay, you take the race issue out of it, and let's talk about she was appointed by H.W. Bush, and then promoted by Clinton.
No, I mean,
then promoted by
that doesn't mean
Clinton.
anything to me.
She's been on.
I'm not evaluating her in terms of who she was appointed by.
And
I'm evaluating her in terms of what she has said publicly. I'm not saying she's dumb or unqualified. She seems smart and qualified. I mean, she's a circuit court judge, so obviously, by definition, she's qualified. I'm just questioning her judgment. I think she should have to explain what she means by that.
And
And I don't think it's wrong to ask. I'm like, why is it wrong to demand an answer to that?
I think, the dumbest person in the room interprets that by her saying, hey, you know what? I think that our court needs the perspective of a woman, a Hispanic woman that has not had the same life and experienced the same things in this country as a 72-year-old white male.
That's not what she said.
She didn't? What'd she say, Brett?
Let me find the exact
Latina
quote.
judge, by virtue of being Latina, would most of the time reach wiser conclusions than a white judge. And I think that is an insane thing to say, and it's hard to imagine how someone could say that.
Well, it's very easy to imagine. She said it.
What do you think about? Did you read the article?
And she's her own person, and she's responsible for her own actions, going back to what she originally believed in.
I'm questioning. No, but she's saying. But she's not. That's not what she's saying. She's saying that that just because you are a Latina, which I guess is like a Spanish-speaking woman, you are somehow inherently more qualified than someone who looks different from you. I mean, I guess that means you're more qualified than black people too. I mean, like what? What does that mean?
He's getting himself all worked up.
Bananas. That's crazy.
That's bananas. For those scoring at home, Tucker said that's bananas. For those scoring at home, Tucker Carlson said that's bananas.
This crap is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Tucker Carlson hates black people.
But then you have Roberts. Then you have the Chief Justice. You have the Chief Justice Roberts, who the conservatives all love. Who now? Did you read the article about him in the Washington Post?
Tucker doesn't read the newspaper.
But hold on, wait.
He has sided with
just because there are other justices who you don't like, that's not an argument in favor of Sotomayor.
Listen to me. I'm going to get into a point here. Justice Roberts has sided with the government or big corporations against the individual in every single opinion he's rendered. Now, I would like
Come on, Tucker. That's so not anti-you.
I would like
that. I don't even know what that. No, okay. Roberts is bad. I mean, okay, I'm happy to believe that. I don't know what that.
You know what that means?
With this conversation.
Okay, well, because you need someone on the court, and it doesn't even have to be this woman. It can be anybody. We're losing Souter, who was a good balance to that, and we need someone in that vein to come in there and balance out Roberts. Basically, Roberts